Joining me now is Niel Marotta. He is the CEO of Sun Summit Minerals. Great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
We did this a long time ago in another life, but we won't talk about that. We're going to talk about your company here and your projects. So three projects in BC in the Golden Horseshoe. You've got JD, Theory, and Buck. So could you give us a snapshot of all that?
Sure. Well, our flagship is called JD. That's where we're doing our 6,000 to 7,000 meter program this year. We also have Theory, which is in the same region up in the Toodoggone, not contiguous, but very close by. That's an earlier stage project, still in the prospecting stage. Buck is actually probably our third priority, but our most advanced project in central BC with 800,000 ounce resource on it. But we don't intend to do much work on that this year.
Okay. So you had recently what you described as a banger of a hole at JD. So tell us about that and the significance of it and what you're discovering.
Sure. Well, yeah, we put out a hole on Monday, 78 meters at 3.7 grams per ton, that's a great intercept, a terrific grade, and that was from surface, so 30 meters, beginning at 30 meters depth. So that's what you want. You want good intercepts, good grade, and near surface. That's a follow-up to last year's inaugural campaign, and that was a step-out hole, about 75 meters from our best hole last year, which was 122 meters at 2.1 grams. So we continue to see terrific grade and shallow depths, and we think there's a lot more to come here.
So you mentioned you're in the midst of this drilling program, getting towards the end of it. It was initially supposed to be 5,000. Looks like it may wind up being 7,000 meters or so, as you said. So next steps, future plans into 26, what are they?
Well, we've got a lot more news to release. That was the first of 11 holes we've drilled at Creek. Okay. We've got more holes on the project that will come out subsequent to that. We've also done about 20 kilometers of line IP and over 2,000 rock and soil samples. So a lot of learnings coming out this year. Our drill season ends in October, but the drill results will be coming out through year end. So there's a lot of great news flow as catalyst for the stock coming here soon.
All right, very good. Now the area, you said it's underexplored to a degree, but also there's a lot of activity there, a lot of companies there. You say there's something like 100 million been raised in the last while, including 10 million for Sun Summit. So can you sort of expand on the location?
Sure. So the Toodoggone is in what we call the Golden Horseshoe. So it's on the east side of the Beaver Basin across from the Golden Triangle. Historically, I think it's been largely considered as not a very prospective area. That's not actually true. These are the same rocks as you'll find in the Golden Triangle. The area has generally been underexplored because it is so remote and there's not been a huge amount of past production. The Kemess mine is probably the most famous and largest scale past producer, which has now been shut down and reclaimed. And that was like, I think, a 3 million ounce gold deposit and almost 1 billion pounds of copper. And so that's what we see in that area, is epithermal gold, silver, underlaid by copper gold porphyry. And we think we have potential for both at our project. We're focused now on the gold and the silver. The area itself, you're right, Mark, there's been about 100 million raised in the last 6 months. And not only is that because I think people are realizing, hey, there's great grades there and this area is very prospective, we've seen a lot of corporate strategic investments as well. So Freeport has a deal with A-Mark in the space. Skeena invested in TDG, just put out some great results. And Centerra has invested quite a bit of money in Thesis Gold. So I think it's not just the capital that's coming in the area, which is going to drive news flow and learnings of the district. I think it's also that you're seeing validation of these projects through the corporate investments.
Okay, lastly, Niel, a lot of companies out there, a lot of companies here at this conference, investors looking for ideas. What's the investment case and how do you stand out? And what's the message to investors?
Well, so we're earlier stage than, let's say, our immediate neighbor to the west, Thesis. They're close to a 400 million market cap. TDG is just south of us. We're kind of right smack dab in the middle. We've raised 10 million back in May, so we have good access to capital. But we don't yet have a big corporate strategic player involved or no big, let's say, household names that are involved in the story. That's all to come. That's all great upside. Our market cap today is around 40 million, so we're about 1/10 of our neighbors. And so as we prove up what we think is the potential for a multi-million ounce gold deposit, I think that's where you get this sort of 5 to 10x upside in the stock. The potential's there, at least anyway.
Right. Great stuff. Thanks, Niel.
My pleasure.
Okay, we'll be following Niel Marotta, the CEO at Sun Summit Minerals.